So, in this episode, I'm going to share an assignment with you that I share with countless of my coaching clients. The majority of my clients want my help with mornings at some point. Sometimes it's getting up in the morning, sometimes it's creating or implementing a morning routine of some kind, and sometimes it's both of these things. And by the way, we just focus on one of those things at a time because they are two different things. But in this episode, I'm going to give you the same assignment I give them, and it's an assignment that you'll actually like. And in case you don't already know this about me, I'm not big on rules, and I love challenging the norm because following things we've always done simply because we've always done them, it just doesn't make any sense if they are things that aren't actually benefiting us in some way. And so in this episode, I'm challenging the conventional wisdom and giving you an assignment you'll like all rolled into this one juicy episode of the Intentional Midlife Mom podcast. This is one to download and share, and whoever you share it with will call you their new best friend. So buckle up, let's get to it. Well, hey there, I am Jennifer Roskamp, a certified life coach and homeschool mom of 9 who is passionate about helping women just like you embrace the here and now while also being focused on creating the life you actually want. As a midlife mom in her 40s, about to be a mom in my 50s, I've realized that it's so easy to lose yourself in caring for your family, your home, and all the things. Until one day you realize you're not even sure who you are anymore or what you even want in life. So on this podcast, we're going to work on managing yourself well so that you can manage all of the other things and people well too. So let's dive into what it means to manage your home, your time, your family, and yourself well. This is the Intentional Midlife Mom podcast. Okay, so as I mentioned in the intro, this is an assignment. This is something that I give my coaching clients regularly, at least 3 to 5 times in my coaching client interactions, and I have daily coaching clients. We work together every single day. We have a texting relationship, and so I'm right there in the trenches with them. And so these clients are among the ones that I work on this with. And oftentimes it's more than once because it's really easy for us to slip back into old habits. It's just, mornings are a challenge. And so this is an assignment that I do give to probably 85% of my coaching clients, I give this to them. Because even if mornings aren't a regular occurring issue at points and during certain seasons, for many of us, mornings can be an issue. It might be because you're in a season where you're not getting much sleep. Maybe you have to get up earlier than normal. Maybe like me, you're affected by the seasons outside your window. I don't know about you. Well, I live in Michigan, and in Michigan during the winter, we don't see the sun for months on end sometimes. And this really affects me. And the nights are so long. And, it's really hard to get up in the morning for me when I know there's going to be several hours of darkness where it feels like the whole world is still asleep, yet I'm awake. So, most of us do struggle with getting up in the morning at some point. And I think this is why this has become such a regular tool that I have that I share with my coaching clients. And just know that I did this with myself for a long time. I do this with all of the tools that I share with coaching clients and all of the things that I teach and even all the things I talk about on the podcast. Like, they are vetted by me. They are things, they are tools, they are strategies or processes that I work with for quite a while before I even introduce them to anyone else. And then typically what I do is I have some people who are almost like straight across the board kind of my guinea pigs, and I will pass them some of these tools to try out, and I will say, here's, I will teach them how to use it, and I will say, give me your feedback. What do you think? And a lot of times the tools that I share with people, the concepts that I teach, even the processes that I teach, sometimes have kind of the fingerprints of my beta testers. all over them as well, because we're all different. And so the way that I use a particular tool or skill could be slightly different for someone else when they use it. And so I learn a lot, and the concepts get a lot of metamorphosis because we go kind of through this process of me using it for a while and then sharing it with others and just kind of making little tweaks and then kind of releasing it to the general population. So that's kind of how this skill came as well. I had a few coaching clients try it and just kind of let me know what you think. And this was one of those ones that really didn't need any tweaking or changing. It is such a relief. If you struggle with mornings, this skill is going to provide you relief, because most of us are frustrated when our mornings don't go well. Most of us are frustrated when we get up late. It's hard when we are dragging to get out of bed and get going. And so, but we feel ashamed of this. We feel frustrated with ourselves. We feel guilty for those times that we're just so tired. And so we just roll back over and go to sleep. But, you know, even in that moment, usually we know we're not doing ourselves any favors. Usually we know, you know what, I really should be getting up, but I'm just so tired. And then we hit snooze and we roll back over and we go to sleep. And the next thing you know, 25 minutes has passed. And now you've got to rush to get yourself, maybe your kids out the door, up and running, whatever it is. And so the whole day just kind of starts off in this hot mess. And I describe it as, it's like there's a train that's going full speed ahead. And from the moment you get up in the morning, because you get up late, you're just kind of hanging on for dear life off the back end of the train. And then your whole day is that way. And that's not good. So having experienced this kind of thing myself, I knew that there had to be a better way. And essentially that's the way that my brain works. When something isn't working well for me for a while, that's when my brain just kind of says, there's got to be a better way. There has got to be something that can make this better. And it just takes off from there. And so this is one of those things that, again, I thought there is no way this is going to work. I was a total skeptic when I tried this for myself. And I was so shocked when it worked again and again and again. And then it does the same thing for other people. So what is it, right? Just get to it already. All right. So I call this skill the 10-minute scroll. And I actually talked about this a little bit on an earlier podcast episode, but I did not go into this grade of detail. And really, in the last 6 months, I feel like I have handed this skill out so much more, where I feel like there's just more people who need to hear about this, and we need to go more in depth. So it was worth another episode. So the 10-minute scroll, what is it and what isn't it? All right. So here's what it is. The 10-minute scroll says that when your alarm goes off in the morning, you grab your phone and you spend 10 minutes just mindlessly scrolling. Whatever it is that you want to look at, whatever your social media platform, or maybe you even like to scroll through some text messages that you didn't get a chance to read, that again don't require a whole lot of brain power, right? This is mindless activity on your phone or maybe your iPad. But that's what this is. It's mindless activity. And it's time spent that initially and really at face value, you and others would probably think it's 10 minutes to waste your time. But I'm here to say it isn't a waste of time. You might look at that and you might say, that's just getting my day off to a lazy start. And you could look at it that way. But I'm here to say that this is actually very productive time. And again, I say this based on the productivity that it has brought in my life and the productivity that it has brought really into the lives of hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 women now since I've been sharing this skill. So it is mindless activity. It isn't lazy avoidance. That's what it is and what it isn't. So here's why it works. Number one, we are not light bulbs. We are humans. And it's nearly impossible to go from one extreme to the other. And really, in the case of your alarm going off, that is likely exactly what has just happened. You've gone from asleep to awake. And we're just not usually physiologically fully engaged when we have this abruptness. I'm sleeping, I'm awake. I'm sleeping, I'm awake. And for most of us, really, when the alarm goes off, even if we're not fighting to hit snooze or not hit snooze, we're usually only slightly engaged for a little bit. we're not firing on all of our cylinders right out of the gate. So the first reason why it works is because we're not light bulbs. We don't have an on-off switch. That's just not the way that we humans work. And so as a result, we're groggy. And this is number 2. We're groggy, and it's just a fact. It doesn't have to mean that there's anything wrong with you. Yet with conventional wisdom, remember how I said I'm going to challenge that a little bit? With conventional wisdom, we're told to get up and get moving. And I did this for a lot of years as well. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but for many people, that's just an impossible request. And so when I got out of bed and tried to force myself to just get up, get moving, get going, get productive right away, it wasn't how I was naturally wired. It wasn't easy for me to do that. And so I had to overcome resistance in order to do this. I talk about overcoming resistance all the time because whether or not you realize it, we overcome resistance all the time. When you're asking yourself to get up in the morning, usually you're facing some sort of resistance. Oh, you didn't sleep well last night. Oh, but I'm just so tired. Oh, but my bed is so warm and the floor is so cold, right? These are all resistance points. They're points of friction. When you're asking yourself to make dinner after a long day and you're just so tired and you're toying with the idea of, oh, I just don't have the energy to make dinner. Maybe we should just go out, but we can't really afford to go out. And do I really feel like going out? But I don't really have anything to make inside. I don't really have anything to make here. And it just sounds so frustrating. And so again, you have these points of friction. You have these points of resistance. You've had clutter that you have wanted to take care of for forever. It's been on your list. It's been part of your goals. It's been on your project list. It's been all over the place, but you just really haven't done it. There's a lot of reasons why we struggle to take care of clutter. I teach 5 different clutter languages, 5 different clutter struggles that are pretty much the typical. One of those is going to be your typical clutter language. And so because you have these points of resistance that are part of your clutter language, when you ask yourself to deal with the clutter, you ask yourself to carry out the steps or whatever you were going to do, you face resistance. You have these points of friction. All of these things you have to overcome in your mind, and they can be 100% true. But you have to overcome the resistance in order to take the action. And so I talk about resistance all the time. And so back to my morning and how it looked for me is because I kept trying to do what the experts made it sound like we needed to do and just get up, get out of bed, get going, make those first moments count. In theory, they're right. And they can be right. But they can also still be super hard for most of us to do. And for most of us, they are. And so when I kept trying to get going right away, I had to overcome this resistance. And that's really tapping into precious resources that I need to overcome resistance later in my day too. Because again, remember what I said, we face resistance all the time. There's really not that many tasks or that many things you have to do, not that many errands that you have to run, places you have to go, times you have to get in the car, where you say, you know what, I'm actually kind of excited to do this. Or even those that you're indifferent about. There are many things that you're asked to do every single day that you face at least a little bit of resistance about. And so here I was fighting resistance, fighting really hard to overcome resistance from the very beginning of my day. And that is exhausting. And so when you start your day having to overcome this resistance, it just takes more out of you to fight that resistance first thing in the morning. It takes a lot to overcome resistance first thing. So why do it? If conventional wisdom in the conventional way that we're quote unquote supposed to do something because the quote unquote experts tell us we're supposed to do it that way, but it's just costing us too much, why keep doing it? This is where we challenge conventional wisdom and we say, there's got to be another way. So the third reason why this works is because when you're not starting your day off fighting with yourself, and let's be honest, that's what it is. You are fighting yourself when you are just having this internal battle about, oh, but I'm so tired. I just want to hit snooze. I don't want to get out of bed, right? All those things that really are true. You probably didn't sleep well last night. The floor is cold. You are feeling tired. You are feeling groggy. You do have a long day ahead of you. And I just want to pull the covers back over my head and avoid it for just a little bit longer. Those things are probably all true. But when you then have to also fight with yourself it just, again, starts your day off on 100% the wrong foot. You're going to have fights all throughout the day, fights with yourself, hopefully not fights with others, but hey, that can be the case even if you just think about traffic, right? So when you're not starting your day off fighting with yourself, your day just starts off better. That's why this works. The fourth reason why this works is when you've had a slower start to your day. And when you grab your phone and you're just mindlessly scrolling, I think we can agree this is a slower start to your day. And I will argue all day long that when you've had a slower start to your day, you are more engaged at the end of that 10 minutes than you are if you're having a quick start to your morning. Get out of bed, get moving, get going. Just try it. You'll see the difference. If you mark your productivity at, say, the half hour mark or maybe the 1 hour mark, when you've had this 10 minutes to mindlessly scroll and then gone about your day, gone about your morning, or you get up out of bed and kind of fight your way through it, it'd be interesting. And this is where I say, try it and prove me wrong. Look at how much different your productivity and your attitude is at that 30-minute mark and that 1 hour mark. And do you want to guess how much easier your day is when you have a good attitude rather than a crappy one? Why not set yourself up to have a better attitude? This is what I say. So here's the rule, though. And this is part of why it works as well. But you have to be willing to adhere to this one rule. And I haven't given you any rules yet, but here it is. You have to get up on time in order to get your scroll. So in this way, it's kind of a carrot on a stick. And this carrot on a stick type of reward really does become a powerful motivator for not hitting snooze. Because again, the rule is that if you don't get up on time, you don't get that 10-minute scroll. If you if you hit snooze once and snooze is 7 minutes and then you get up, you've got 3 minutes left. If you hit snooze and it's a 10-minute snooze, you got 0 minutes left. And when you start using this tool, will come to really just enjoy that mindless scroll. And so it serves as a powerful motivator. I don't want to lose that slow start. You'll start to see all of these benefits that I just shared with you about why it works. You'll start to experience these, and it won't take long. And when you start to experience those, it will become these rewards will become a very powerful motivator for you to get up on time so that you can start your day in this way. So here are the results that you'll likely find when you make this 10-minute scroll a habit. Number 1, you'll get up on time way more often than you do right now. Number 2, you'll become productive more quickly. The more traditional productivity, you'll get up, get moving, get that stuff started on your list. You'll get to that point of really productivity or efficiency more quickly than if you have to overcome the resistance to do it. Third result, you'll have saved energy that you'll need later. Again, think of it like a battle you are fighting against yourself. And I know you know what I'm talking about. If you struggle with mornings, it is a battle. So you will not have battled with yourself, which means you'll have more battle energy later when you need it. And hey, maybe you won't even need it for battle. Maybe you can actually have energy for something else then. You will have saved energy that you'll need or that you can use later. And the last result you can look forward to is that you have started your day off with a win rather than a loss. And what I mean is, do you feel like a winner when you get up late in the morning, when you don't get up on time, and when you kind of have this slow, lethargic start to your day that carries on and on and on and on? And the next thing you know, you might have gotten up, you might have gotten that cup of coffee, but maybe you just kind of sat on the couch and stared off into space for a while because you just are trying to snap yourself out of this grogginess, and you didn't have kind of this slow insertion into your day. You haven't had this slow kind of waking up to reality. So you'll start your day off getting up on time, again, because it becomes that carrot on a stick reward that you want. And so you'll get up on time. And so you will win. You will have had a win already. I got up on time and I went through my morning routine because, yes, this is a morning routine. I get up in the morning at this time, I grab my phone and I scroll for 10 minutes, and then I get up and I do the next thing. That is a 3-step routine. And you will have started your day off with a win in this 3-step routine. And then, kind of the bonus result is that your entire trajectory is different. Now, the trajectory for your whole day is different, all because of this one simple thing. And it's probably this one simple thing that you've been told is wrong. You should not be scrolling on your phone, and you certainly should not start your day off that way. That sets you up to be lazy your whole day. That's not true. Again, prove me wrong, because think about it. Think about this trajectory for your whole day, right? You have a win rather than a loss. So think about this. You're a winner. You have that label. You are not saddled with the heavy label of, I'm behind. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. You said you were going to get up on time. I'm supposed to get up on time and I didn't. So you are a winner. Number 2, you've avoided a fight. Well, most of us don't like to fight with people, and we certainly don't like to fight with ourselves, yet we do it a whole lot. But this one essential fight, you've avoided it. So you've avoided a fight. Number 3, you're more accomplished. Again, you have done 3 things in my simple 3-step process, right? Get up on time, scroll for 10 minutes, get up and get on to the next thing. You have accomplished 3 simple things before your day even has an opportunity to go haywire at all. You are more accomplished. You start your day on the accomplished side of things, which is what builds momentum to more accomplishment as opposed to more failure. Here's kind of a hidden benefit that I haven't mentioned yet. Usually when you're going to be scrolling on something, you've probably seen something funny or that you've enjoyed. So you've started your day off with some endorphins. You've started your day off with some feel-good hormones. Hello? What's not to be, what's not a win there? That's a huge win. Imagine starting your day off laughing at some silly thing you saw on Instagram. Imagine your day starts that way. Do you see? I mean, you have got to be able to see how this is life-changing right here. So you've likely seen something funnier that you've enjoyed. And then finally, you've created a positive habit, which gives way to other positive habits. Because whether you realize it or not, you either have positive habits or you have negative habits. If you're someone who often gets out of bed, or if you're someone who often gets up in the morning or your alarm goes off and you hit snooze and you kind of just get up at a variation of your waking time, depends how many times you hit snooze. Sometimes you get up 10 minutes late. Sometimes you get up 25 minutes late. It just depends all on how many times you hit snooze. That's a habit. I have a habit of waking up, hitting snooze, and just kind of getting up whenever I can muster up enough energy to get out of bed. That's a habit too. And it's, when we have negative habits, that's a whole lot to overcome. And so now you have this positive habit, which gives way to other positive habits. So here's how to do it. If you are all on board with this concept, and boy, do I hope you are. I cannot tell you, again, if you could see the text messages I get back from my clients when I give them this assignment and they do it for a few days, it's literally like a few days and they're like, how can something so dumb and so small make such a difference? I am in such a better mood. I am treating my kids or my coworkers or my family better. I'm not so irritated with the crazy drivers on the road. I don't have as much road rage or road anger. I mean, just all the things. I feel like I have more energy to do whatever it is I need to do. Just, it's endless. These things are endless. So here's how to do it. Don't mess with your waking time. If you were to say to me, again, like a lot of my clients do, I know that I just need to get up earlier. And a lot of times when clients say, I want a better morning routine, we sit down and we talk about what the morning routine needs to include. And we discover fairly quickly that a lot of times with what what you might want to get done in your morning routine. And it might be like, I want to get a little exercise. I want to drink coffee slowly. I want to do some reading in my book, or I want to have some quiet time or meditation time or whatever. If you were to think about what you want your morning routine to include, and how much time that would take up, then you'd likely discover, like many of my clients do, like you'll discover that I need to get up earlier in order to make all of that happen. But let's just say that you're having that realization right now. Don't worry about it. Or if you're someone who feels like, yeah, I need to get up earlier, but I just haven't done it yet, that can come. This is a very, very good strategy to use to help you get up earlier in the morning too. But you got to get this, again, you got to get this underway first. You got to create this habit first. So that's why I say, don't mess with your waking time. In time, you can use this to get up earlier if you desire that. But for now, you're not making any changes to your waking time. That's step number 1. Step number 2, decide how is it you like to scroll. Kind of give that some thought in the morning. Am I going to go to Instagram? Am I going to go to Facebook? Am I going to go to TikTok? Am I going to do something else? Because again, we don't want to ask your brain to make any decisions in the morning. And believe it or not, even asking your brain, what do I want to scroll, Instagram or Facebook? Even that takes a little bit of brain cells that we just would rather not use. So before you go to bed, know when I reach for my phone in the morning, what is it I'm going to be doing? So decide on how you'll scroll. Next, make sure that you've got what you need in order to do that. And if you're old like me, this likely means glasses. There is nothing worse than discovering when I reach for my phone and my glasses are not next to my phone, that and now I have to get out of bed to go. Not only it's cold, right? I've had that shock to my system. But if I haven't been intentional on knowing where my glasses are, now I'm having to rifle around looking for them. Did I leave them on my bathroom counter? Did I leave them on the couch? Did I leave them on the table? Did I leave them on the footstool? Like, that's the pits. You don't want that. So you have to make sure before you go to bed at night that you decide what you're going to do, and you know you have anything you need in order to do that. And again, for me, that means glasses. It might not be anything for you, but if you're like me, you might need your glasses. And so here's what happens. Though your alarm goes off, you grab your phone and you set your alarm for 10 minutes. We do not want, you have permission for a 10-minute scroll. You do not have permission for a 25-minute scroll. And we have time blindness, most of us. And so we might think it's only been 7 or 8 minutes, but we look at our clock and we look at the phone and we realize, oh my gosh, it's been 12 minutes or it's been 15 minutes, right? This is why you need to set your alarm for 10 minutes. Once you do that, you start your scrolling. And when the alarm goes off, you're done. And you get up and move and do the next thing. Now, here's the best part. Maybe not the best part, but almost. This is the cherry on top. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this before, but I love giving people get out of jail free cards. Think back to Monopoly, right? You roll doubles 3 times in a row, or I can't even remember what else sends you to jail. You land on the go to jail space. I think that's about it. But you're sent to jail. But you're about to make your move and win the game, and you get sent to jail. But you've got this get out of jail free card. It's like when you slap that down on the board, it's like the angels have started singing because you're like, no, I don't have to go to jail, right? Super awesome. Get out of jail free cards. They're awesome. I suggest in a lot of different strategies that I teach that you get a get out of jail free card, meaning you don't have to do it sometimes. Here's how this works. Give yourself the added bonus of an extra 5 minutes, 2 days a week. 2 days a week, you get a 15-minute scroll with permission. Yes, you do. You get to either set your alarm. Here's the really cool way to do it. You can set your timer for 10 minutes. And if it's a day that you're going to cash in one of your get out of jail free cards, your alarm goes off on your phone and you say, oh, no, you don't have to get up. You don't have to stop scrolling. You get to keep scrolling. And you set your timer for another 5 minutes. Oh, it's the best feeling. Or maybe you just set it for 15 minutes in the first place. But 2 days a week, you get to have an extra bonus 5 minutes, because the reason this works, the reason get out of jail free cards work, and everybody should be talking about them, is because no one likes feeling like they have to have a 100% success rate. Do you know why? Because a 100% success rate, well, it just doesn't happen. And so when you go into any new technique or when you use any new technique, or you're trying to continue a healthy habit that you want, it is real hard to be motivated to do that all the time when the only thing that you can have is success. And if you don't have success one day, all of a sudden you failed. And that can just devastate the best habit, because again, we're real bad as humans at looking at all the gains. We're not going to look at the fact that, you know what, for 23 days you did do it right. No, we're not going to see that. All we're going to see is you messed it up today and you broke your good habit. Now it's going to be impossible for you to get back to doing it again. Tell me I'm wrong on this. This is the way our brains work. So 2 days a week, you get a 15-minute scroll. You decide what you want that to look like. I'm telling you, set that for 10 minutes. Let it go off and you just smile to yourself, kind of like that smile in The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, right? Jim Carrey, when he gets that big smile, you know the one I'm talking about. You can have that smile when you set your timer for 10 minutes and then you say, oh, but I don't have to get up now, right? And here's the thing. I always talk about, let's shoot for 80% success. 80% success. We don't want 100% success. We want to shoot for 80% success. And you know the cool thing is, when you shoot for 80% success, you're going to much, much, much more frequently hit your target somewhere between 80% success and 100% success. But if you ask yourself for 100% success, you are going to miss that 80% or better more often, simply because you asked yourself to go the full 100% and that was your expectation. Again, I welcome the experiment to be proven wrong. It has not been proven wrong in my life, nor any of the coaching clients that I coach. And it is so freeing to have someone like me say, wait a minute, you mean I don't have to get it right all the time? No, you don't. You hear me. I said it today. Remember how I told you I like to challenge conventional wisdom? I don't like to follow rules. Yeah. This is one of those episodes where you're seeing all of those colors right in front of your eyes because I'm not any of those things. So 80%. So 2 days a week, you get that. And 5 days, if you're following the 10-minute scroll 5 days a week, it'll essentially give you a little bit under that 80%, but not bad. And again, you don't have to take those get out of jail free cards either. You might decide, you know what, 10 minutes is really good. I was gonna use my get out of jail free card today, and I feel so good about getting up. I just don't want to. And you just don't. It's amazing what can happen. So who knew that we could have such a long conversation about scrolling onto your phone? This has been a jam-packed episode that is so good. There is so many takeaways here. I hope that not only you got a huge gift, you got the huge gift from me. I hope you receive the huge gift from me that the 10-minute scroll is, but I also hope that you feel empowered to think about get out of jail free cards and thinking about where else can I use them? If you don't have an idea, listen to some of these other episodes. I talk about them. Come join my coaching program. I talk about them. Come become one of my one-on-one coaching clients. You'll hear me talk about it almost on the daily. But I hope you find them empowering. I hope you think about the 80% success rate and you think, wow, I usually do expect 100% adherence. I expect to try my hardest and shoot for 100% success all the time, because who wants to think about failing? I say I do. I want to think about failing because I know that when I give myself permission to fail, I give myself permission ahead of time. It's not failure anymore. It's just following the plan. My plan was I was going to have 2 get out of jail free cards. And look at that, I did. It went exactly the way that I planned. You know what? That makes me a winner because I did it just like I said I would. I hope that you find these concepts as exciting as I do. I hope that you give this a try. And again, if you have not heard me talk about this before, dive into some of these episodes. There is so much here. I also encourage you to find me on Instagram. I am there every single day, giving all kinds of coaching help, all kinds of practical help. I'm the Intentional Mom blog on Instagram. Find me there. I'm literally there every day, usually more than once a day. Lots of good stuff goes there. And through the relationship that I build with you in any one of these places, in time, you'll probably see some of the coaching programs that I offer. I offer even a less than $10 a month coaching option. You'll hear about all those in time. But for now, give this 10-minute scroll a try. And I would love for you to leave a comment down below if you try it. Wherever you're listening to podcasts, leave me a review, leave me a comment. Those things help pump my podcast out there and get this information into the hands of other women who feel like they're supposed to have a 100% success rate also. They're feeling like they're being lazy if they're not getting out of bed right away, jumping up, get going. Man, these women need to hear this, don't we? We all do. So until we talk again, make it an intentional day.